Welcome to my presentation tonight, Cooking with Kids, Guessing versus Knowing. We here love to bake things and make homemade snacks and share them with our friends. So I took our 4 to 8-year-olds and asked them to help me make a special snack. I found a recipe online for vanilla cake that you make from scratch with very simple, easy ingredients. I asked the kids to come up with their own amounts that they were going to put in this cake. So they had to guess what maybe the recipe called for each ingredient. Each kid was in charge of a different ingredient and got to decide which amount of the ingredient they could put in there. After we baked that cake, we made the cake from an actual recipe, the recipe that I had found online. After we baked both cakes, we had a little taste testing. They got to taste test it, theirs versus the online recipe. And I think they were pleasantly surprised at how good their cake actually was. I was actually very surprised at how close they were at getting the actual ingredients correct. And in my personal opinion, their cake was better. It was moist. It was sweeter, even though it had a lot less sugar in it. It had a lot more vanilla in it. So it was really good. I was really proud of how well these kids worked together as a team. They actually discussed. When one person was like, well, I'm going to put 5 tablespoons of sugar in, another person's like, well, I put this whole bowl in. So it was really fun to watch them interact with each other and kind of decide together maybe what they should put in and what they shouldn't put in. When we were mixing the cake, they looked at the way it was mixing and decided whether or not it needed more liquid or not, based on consistency of what they've seen from other cake batters. So I'm going to pause this for a second so that I can turn the camera around and actually show you the panel board that we created. Had a blast with these kids. They did great cleanup. And after we did a discussion, asking them questions, which I know this is backwards, but I'll show it to you the right way shortly. Asking them questions about would they like to do it again, and did they have fun? What would they like to bake next? All that kind of good fun stuff like that. These are pictures of the ingredients that they started with. So this is how I gave them the ingredients, and then they got to mix out and use whatever measuring device they wanted to. This was us talking about the ingredients and how we were going to do things and who was going to pick what to put in and decide. This is their actual cake recipe versus the online recipe. So they did pretty well, like I had said. And so here's just pictures of the kids actually doing each step in order of the ingredients. They did mix their cake a lot more than what was called for. I think they all just really enjoyed mixing and using the utensils. So these were the 2 cakes going in together. They cooked for 30 minutes. And then this was afterwards. Afterwards, they helped me clean up, which was very important. These were the 2 cakes and what they looked like. The top cake is actually their cake. It did look nicer. And then this was us talking about the experiment and what they liked about it, if they liked their cake. We had a lot of fun, for sure, with this assignment. And this is it. This is my documentation panel for guessing versus knowing the cake experiment. And there you go. I hope you've enjoyed looking at it.